Look at the rain. Look at the beautiful atmosphere in the forest. The wind, the trees, everything. So savage, so wild, so beautiful. And I can look at it for hours. Also talking to the wind, listening to the wind. I love it. But it breaks my camera. So I have to have shelter now with this tree. So I'm going to wait and enjoy. And I might as well make a video. And I was thinking, because lately there are a lot of people actually who don't like the name Draconic Wiccan, because I can call myself a proud Draconic Wiccan, but it doesn't mean that I'm a Wicca. I'm a Wiccan. I'm a Draconic Wiccan. That is a large difference. So why the name? Why do people call people like us a Draconic Wiccan? It has to do with back in the day in 1994 when Conway, a lady Wiccan, wrote a book about dancing with dragons, and she said that it was some kind of a draconic Wicca that people on the dragon's path are taking. But that doesn't mean that they are Wicca, especially not Draconic Wicca. What is the difference? Because there is actually a large difference. But I have to admit that I was also, guided into the magical, guided into the dragon, but also the magical world. I wanted to know more about this, and I wanted to explore much more about this. Just like people on Wicca, most of the time they are directed inside of some kind of a magic world that they want to live in, that they are attracted to it. And that is just the same with the dragon, the Draconic Wicca. We are also attracted to it. But most of the time we have a destination inside of our attractions, and that is the dragon. For example, that is actually a very good example for this. Some years ago, when Trump, was elected president, all these Wiccans were gathering together to put a curse upon Trump, and I was saying, not in my book. I mean, I simply don't care. Why should I abuse the powers of the dragon for something so idiotic? Because there are so many people, millions of people, that deserve a punishment in my idea. So why this one in particular? Why should I abuse the power of the dragon to show this guy who is boss? I'm not going to do this, and you can all go away. I don't care. Because a Draconic Wiccan is taking the path solitary, alone, with their dragon, undistracted, listening to their dragon. A Wiccan is someone who most of the time go in groups and go to gatherings and do rituals together. It's been led by another person most of the time. A Wiccan is also someone a bit like the right hand spirituality, which is a guided and most of the time also a religion. Yeah, those religions that are already been led by others, and that is not the Draconic Wiccan. A Draconic Wiccan, you are the center point, and you are your own priest, you are your own preacher. That is also a big difference with Wicca. Wicca you can find everything you need to know about Wicca in books, about other people, about everything, but what is actually the similarity of it? That is also very interesting. The similarity are several gods. Wiccans are worshipping several gods. The horn god, the triple goddess, and that is also nature, the four elements, and the phases of the moon. That is also the same with Draconic Wicca. Everything that happens in nature, every shift of nature, is every time it is a difference in energy, also Draconic energy. With Wicca, it's a bit similar. With everything that happens in nature is celebrated for them. So when nature is going outside of a winter sleep, that is just the same. That they have holidays for every shift in nature. So that is a bit the same with us, with Draconic Wicca. With Draconic Wicca, we should actually also celebrate every shift in nature, because every shift in nature changes your draconic energy, your draconic spirit. So they as well, they celebrate the same thing. This every shift in nature, but also the phases of the moon It's just the same thing when the full moon is there. There is of course a larger chance for a good ritual, for a lot of energy. That is the same. So you can see the similarities with Wicca and Draconic Wicca. There are a lot, much more than this. But there are also differences, because we are not like this. And that is why I sometimes change it, because a lot of people, and I understand why, a lot of people don't like the name Draconic Wicca. It's like a branch of Wicca, but it has nothing to do with Wicca. But it's actually, it has nothing to, not that much to do with Wicca, but it's similar in some ways. And to say to people Draconic Wicca, they immediately know, magic and draconic, yeah, dragon magic, you see. It's being called like this by DJ Conway, or a lady that passed away last year, a writer of books of Wicca and Draconic Wicca and also other forms of magic. My respect for her to say something like this, because everyone was afraid back in the day to say that they believed in dragons, and you have to have guts. I mean, this lady, I appreciate her talent of writing, but also her talent of telling what this is. And she said it's some kind of a draconic kind of Wicca. But we are taking our path alone with our dragons. We are not letting ourselves being distracted or being guided by people like Wicca does. We are being guided by the dragon. And to say to the people who hate the name Draconic Wicca, I changed the name into the Dragon's Path, the Dragon's spiritual path. I invented this name because of this reason, and because I understand why people are saying on the Dragon's Path that are saying that we are a unique spirituality, a very, very ancient and unique. I agree, but this is how it's known. This is how it's known by the public. Draconic Wicca, even though most of the people will say, what kind of a thing? But if you say dragon, draconic and Wicca magic, then they should know. They should know. But I also prefer the name the Dragon's Path, a dragon spiritual path, a path of left-hand spirituality that you take with your dragons. Or that you take with your dragons, that you follow your dragon's eye and you follow your instincts. That is my interpretation of the Draconic Wiccan. It's a path. It's a path that you take alone with your dragons. And underneath the shadow of the dragon, they follow you wherever you go, and they will say to you wherever you should go, and they will guide you. And that is what actually Draconic Wicca is. Draconic and the Dragon's Path is actually the same. But the Dragon's Path is more like, it's an ancient path, it's you, it's who you are, and actually that is more fitting, and that is what I was saying back in the day. It was more a fitting name for what we are going to do. Every path is different, everything that we do is different. We cannot read it in books, we cannot go together, we cannot have gatherings like Wicca has, but we have a path. We have a path, and somewhere we have to go straight forward, and sometimes we are going to fall. Sometimes we are going to have troubles in our path. Sometimes we just don't know where to go, and that is just it. That is what a path is, where you don't know where you have to go, into this forest, into a small path where nobody has gone before. That is how I see the Dragon's Path. You don't know where to go. Sometimes you ask your brother or sisters if you know any, but yet they are taking a different Dragon's Path. Their dragons are saying that they have to go another way. And you have to go a certain path, that your dragons are saying, this is for us, this is our path, and we are going to do it together. It's not going to be easy, it's not going to be something that you can read in books, but it's going to be satisfying, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be something that you want. And that is what Draconic Wicca is for me. Draconic Wicca for me is the Dragon's Path. My brothers and sisters, be blessed.